All right, well, a competition Byron going for Ted. He runs 12:26 on a 12:24, and we have an leak, an oil leak on this old. So we're gonna need to back him up. All right, Brent Vincent coming up now in the tower lane down to 1395, 1446 dialing in the right lane. Tim Darnell, yeah, Tim Darnell in the right lane. All pro cleavers, first round of the lanes. Pro B.O.P Pro Class drivers to the lanes, please. B.O.P Pro Class drivers to the lanes, please. You are in lanes 9 and 10. 9 and 10 for Pro first round. B.O.P Pro first round lanes 9 and 10. All right, winner is in the Byron Hill lane, car number 430. That is Gary Kratz is your winner. Gary was the winner over entry number 435, Bob Mann. All right, next pair of cars coming up now in the tower lane. 13. Jim Taylor. All right, that pair is off. Matt Van Auken in the right lane. Tower lane, Jim Taylor. The win going to Jim Taylor. Wow, close race there. All pro B.O.P. Pro cars to the lanes. B.O.P. Pro cars to the lanes. First round. B.O.P. Pro cars. First round to the lanes. All right, number 439. All right, winner was in the tower lane of that last goal. This is the Byron now. All right, Index Bikes, you will follow the Pro Oldsmobile class. Index Bikes will follow Pro Oldsmobile. So, Brian, you're heading over to the bikes next.
Hey, this is Dave Haugenga, left-hand lane. The Pontiac Trans Am with a 995 dial in the left-hand side. Paired up with Rick Waters. Rick Waters in the right-hand lane. Wow, look at that reaction time for Rick. A 954 dial in for Rick. He is 008 on the Christmas tree. And he'll get the win on the right-hand side on a double breakout. 946.9 on the 954 dial in. A 008 reaction time for Rick Waters. 987 elapsed time on the 995 dial in for his opponent, Dave Haugenga. That'll bring up Adam Miranda, left-hand side. The 69 Pontiac Firebird in the left-hand lane, a 971 dial in for Miranda, Adam Miranda. And Jason Yeager in the right-hand side, a wheels-up launch in the Olds 442 of Jason Yeager in the right-hand side. Closing at the finish line, win light's going to go to Yeager in the right-hand side. 994 on the 988 dial in. Your winner is Jason Yeager. Wayne Schickatek, left-hand side. The GTO facing Bob Kelso, the 82 Olds wagon. Hey, the win's going to go to the Oldsmobile wagon, right-hand side. Bob Kelso goes 1019 on the 1018 dial-in. Kelso, the heavy hauler, your winner in the right-hand side. Brent Vincent doing double duty today. In street class as well as pro category, here he is entered in the pro class, the Pontiac Grand Prix from Byron, Illinois, with a 1395 dial-in for Brent Vincent. Paired up with John Stolpa. The 65 Olds 442 from Rocket Racing out of Waterford, Wisconsin. That Olds is on the chip for a long time. How long? So long that he got it off the rev limiter at the starting line while he was waiting his turn at the Christmas tree. A red light start for Vincent. Automatic win goes to John Stolpa. And the 65 Olds 442 right-hand side. 929 with an 8 on the 935 dial-in for John Stolpa. That'll bring up Nicholas Ropo. He was your potential buy coming into this round. He will collect that buy run to conclude round number 1 of eliminations in the pro category for B.O.P. Final qualifying session out for two-wheel speed index motorcycles. This is the 890 Index. Tom Clemmy and Bruce Damewood at the starting line. Clemmy on the left-hand side of Davenport, Iowa. Bruce Damewood right-hand side from Clinton, Iowa. Headed on down the quarter mile, 8:75 the time for Tom Clemmy, 8:92 with a 3 at 1:46 for Bruce Damewood on the right-hand side. Damewood previously was an 8:89 with a 7. He will improve right here with that performance. That'll bring up Joe Robbins and Tom Luke. Your final two entries here in the 890 index category. Robbins on the left-hand side. Doubling up in the 950 index as well today. And Tom Luke on the right-hand side. The Carpenter from South Beloit, Illinois. They are wheel-to-wheel, handlebar to handlebar, the whole way down the track. 8:96 elapsed time for Tom Luke on the right-hand side. He will cross the finish line first. He was 8:90 with a 5 earlier today. That'll make him the number one qualifier based on his performance earlier in the day. And Joe Robbins goes 8:97 at 140 miles per hour in the left-hand lane. And Joe, he'll hot lap in the back round. He will be running in the 950 index as well. So we switch gears now to the 950 index motorcycles. Your first pair out is Andy Bailey and Ted Thompson. Ted Thompson to the right-hand side. New motorcycle for Ted is a 2008 Kawasaki ZX-10R. And Andy Bailey on the left-hand side, the 2007 model Kawasaki ZX-14. Looking for a 950 index. They will both go a little too quick right here. Bailey 941, Thompson 942 on the right-hand side. And that'll bring up your next pair of 950 index motorcycles. Gillo Jack, the local from Byron, Illinois, the left-hand side. Paired up with Brian Foster aboard a 2004 Kawasaki ZX-10R on the right-hand side. Ojek on a 2007 Kawasaki ZX-14. The hometown rider, Gil Ojek, was 963 previously in qualifying. He will slow to a 986 this time, 141 miles per hour for Ojek of Byron, Illinois, in a 941 elapsed time on the right-hand side for Brian Foster. And that'll bring up your final qualifier here for 950 index. This is Joe Robbins, who just went down the track about, well, 3 pair before in the 890 index. So Joe, a busy man on these index motorcycle days, running the same bike in 2 indexes. It's a 2008 Suzuki that Robbins from Cameron, Wisconsin is aboard. Staged up and running. Wow, look at that. A double 03 reaction time for Joe Robbins. Chops down the Christmas tree. And he will go a 980 with a 113 miles per hour for Joe Robbins. And with that, we will be back into Test and Tune on track now. All right, two-wheel speed competitors, ladders, and qualifying sheets are now posted for the 890 and Index motorcycle. So Index, qualifying, as well as ladder sheets are now posted for round number 1 of eliminations for the 890 and 950 Indexes on the corkboard located on the grandstand beside the tower. Qualifying sheets, as well as ladder sheets, are posted for the 890 and 950 Index motorcycles. Round number 1 of Drag ET motorcycle, bike number 5121, Bill Baker. Bill Baker, bike number 5121, potential buy in round number 1 of Drag ET motorcycle. And bike number 3511, Ted Thompson, potential buy in the Street ET motorcycle category. All right, we will take Drag ET and Street ET motorcycles to the lanes, please. Attention, Drag ET, Street ET motorcycles to the lanes, please. Drag ET, Street ET motorcycles to the lanes, please. For round number 1 of eliminations, Drag ET, Street ET motorcycle to the lanes, please. For round number 1 of eliminations. Bike number 5121, Bill Baker, potential buy in first round of Drag ET motorcycle. Bike number 3511, Ted Thompson, potential buy in round number 1 of Street ET motorcycle. Looking for Drag ET and Street ET motorcycles to the lanes, please. Drag ET, Street ET motorcycles to the lanes, please, for round number 1 of eliminations. Wow, this is one of the more detailed and better looking vehicles out here today. There are a lot of good looking cars, but this one really got my attention. Phil Pulo, the 67 Chevy C10 pickup truck on the right hand side from Plainfield, Illinois. Boy, inside and out, top to bottom, front to rear, that is one beautiful C10 pickup truck of Phil Pulo of Plainfield, Illinois. That thing is gorgeous. A pair of Chicagoland super stocks at the starting line. Dave Engel. And Alan Provenzano. Wow, look at that, an 8:96 time for Dave Engel. The 68 model Chevrolet Camaro, the 74 Alan Provenzano. Wow, look at that, 8:92 time, 143 miles per hour. And they are just getting the bugs worked out. Mike Mackey, I believe he might be the points leader in the Pro Dominator category as part of the Midwest Index Shootout Series. This is a 950 Index. 84 Oldsmobile Cutlass on the left-hand side of Mike Mackey out of Algonquin, Illinois. And shutting it off early at 10:48 ET, 102 miles per hour for Mike Mackey. Round number 2, B.O.P. to the staging lanes, please. Round number 2, B.O.P. to the staging lanes, please. Round number 2 of eliminations for B.O.P. to the staging lanes, please. And in round number 2 of B.O.P. Pro Class, car number 431, Rick Waters, potential buy for the B.O.P. Pro Class. And in B.O.P. Street, car number 308V, Brent Vincent, potential buy. in round number 2 of B.O.P Street Class. All ET motorcycles should be in the lanes and ready to go for round number 1 eliminations. All ET motorcycles should be in the lanes and ready to go for round number 1 of eliminations. Round 1 eliminations of Drag ET and Street ET Motorcycle. At the starting line, Bruce Damewood and Jonathan Vickers. Your first pair out, Vickers on the right-hand side out of beautiful downtown Streeter, Illinois. An 815 dial-in for the motorcycle on the right-hand side. Paired up with Bruce Damewood, a former NHRA national champion. In the left-hand side from Clinton, Iowa. They're off, they're running. Damewood out of the gate first, but here comes that hard-charging Jonathan Vickers. At the quarter mile, win line's going to go to Bruce Damewood on a double breakout. He'll go 867 on the 868 dial-in. Damewood, your winner, in the left-hand side. This is Roger Hambley, left-hand lane of Henry, Illinois. Said that all of his kids are all grown up and out of the house now, so he has gone back to motorcycle racing, a sport that he shelved for close to 30 years, I understand. And he will fall in round number 1 to Tom Clemmy, your current points leader Wow, how about that? Coming out of retirement, and who do you get paired up with? The points leader, Tom Clemmy, your winner in the right-hand side. Coming up next, this is Greg Darm and John Niles. Niles on the right-hand side from Sandwich, Illinois, one of the most delicious-sounding towns of all of Illinois. A 996 dial-in for John. Left-hand side, that is Greg Darm, number 2 in points for the Frito-Lay salesman from Streator, Illinois. A red light start for John Niles. That'll be a win light for Greg Darm, the potato chip king from Streator, Illinois. Will turn in 8:93 a lapse time, 145 miles per hour in the left-hand lane. John Niles slows to a 10:23 at 1:27. Greg Darm, your winner left-hand side by virtue of a red light start. Bill Baker coming up next of Sherrard, Illinois, collecting his Byron here to conclude this first round of eliminations in Drag ET Motorcycle. Wow, 002 reaction time. He was 001 in time trials earlier. So Bill Baker is an absolute beast at the Christmas tree today. Wow, look at that. Dead on 5, 002, a 7,000 package for Bill Baker. 885 with a 5 on the 885 dial-in. 002 reaction time does not get much better than that for Bill Baker. Now, this is one cool gentleman on the left-hand side here. This is Kevin Morris of New Berlin, Wisconsin. I believe New Berlin is where the big Powerball winning lottery ticket came from. Kevin Morris, left-hand side, aboard his 2019 Harley-Davidson Breakout. Now, here's an interesting occupation. He is a chief lead designer at Harley-Davidson. Wow, how about that? That's a cool occupation. Paired up with Brian Foster on the right-hand side from Portage, Indiana. And a red light start for Morris on the left-hand side. That'll give the win to Brian Foster on the right-hand side. The lead designer at Harley-Davidson goes red. He'll run 1179 on the 1180 dial-in. But the win will go to Mr. Foster on the right-hand side. That'll bring up a former Street ET motorcycle track champion, Ted Thompson, on the right-hand lane. Out of Rockford, I believe he's out of Naperville, Illinois. That'll need to be updated. 1214 dial-in for Ted on the right-hand side. Paired up with Gil Ojek, the local, the hometown racer from Byron, Illinois, with a 965 dial-in. Gil Ojek on the left-hand side, Ted Thompson on the right-hand lane. Clean green, away they go. Anybody's race at the finish line. Will it be Thompson? Will it be Ojek? Give this one to Gil Ojek. The hometown racer gets the win. 974 on the 965 dial-in. And that'll be a wrap for round number 1 of ET Motorcycles. Well, how's that for horsepower? Rodney Hendrickson and the world's fastest and quickest Buick. Testing a new setup today. They did about a 3:30 launch earlier. Hopefully go a little bit further this time. For Rodney Hendrickson, this is all genuine Buick power. Under the hood, a 530 cubic inch Buick power plant with a supercharger planted on the top of it. For the racer from Yorkville, Illinois, Rodney Hendrickson. And clicks it off just before the 8th mile. A 60-foot time of a 1:05. A new setup for Rodney Hendrickson in the Pro Modified Buick Regal. Out here on this B.O.P day doing some testing with the Pro Mod entry. Suffice to say, the fastest and highest horsepower car on the property today. Thanks for bringing it out, Rodney. Our pleasure to see it run. All right, B.O.P round number 2 coming out of the staging lanes. Street ET class for B.O.P coming out first, followed by the Pro category. All right, we are missing one entry for the Pro class in B.O.P. Missing one entry in the B.O.P Pro category. All right, we have all of our entries for round number 2 of B.O.P. We are ready to run them, Brian. Send out the street class in B.O.P. Hey, a shout out to the watch party in Streeter. Tuning in, watching Byron Dragway TV live from the watch party in Streeter. Thanks for tuning in. Here we go with round number 2 of B.O.P. Buick Old Pontiac Day at the starting line. The Buick Century on our left-hand side, that is Sean Thetkin. Car number 436 with a 1256 dial in the left-hand side, paired up with Ted Schneller, right-hand side of Yorkville, Illinois. A 1224 dial in for Schneller and a 1256 dial in for Shane Feckin, left-hand side. This is round number 2 of B.O.P competition. This is the quarterfinal round for the street class. Off and running, a pair of green lights off the starting line. This one could go either way at the finish line. They reach the finish line. Breakout on the left-hand side. Win light goes to Ted Schneller. Wow, look at that. Dead on 3 at the finish line. 12:24 with a 3 and the 12:24 dial-in for Ted Schneller. His first time bracket racing, and safe to say that Mr. Schneller has this game figured out. He is dead on 0, getting the win on the left-hand side. Dead on 5, I should say. Gary Krawitz now, the Pontiac Firebird Formula, left-hand lane. 12:32 dial-in, he is out front. Here comes Bernie Coltrone. Coltrone closing in, double breakout. The win goes to Coltrone on the right-hand side. 11:92.6 on the 11:95 dial-in. Your winner, Bernie Coltrone, on a double breakout at the finish line. Now your final pair of street B.O.P. This is Brent Vincent and Jim Taylor. So the story goes, Brent was at the grocery store at the bank this morning, and he spotted a beautiful Olds Cutlass on the trailer and said, well, what's going on at the Dragway today? Popped up the phone, looked at Byron, Dragway.com. Oh, B.O.P. day. Took the truck home, parked in the garage, yelled in the door, hey, go race the Pontiac today. And here he is, going on to the semifinal round, and he is carrying a Byron. So Brent Vincent with that is basically a ticket to the final round with that round win over Jim Taylor on the right-hand side. Taylor goes red, and Vincent is sitting on the potential bye in the semifinals. 3 cars should be back, so that is effectively a ticket to the final round for Brent Vincent. This is the pro class for B.O.P. at the starting line. Jason Yeager at the left-hand side. The Olds 442 with a 988 dial-in. Wow, that is one fast car. Very beautiful for the body shop operator in the left-hand lane. Paired up with Nick Ropo. Ropo in the Pontiac, right-hand side, a former high school track champion from Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. He had a potential bye in the previous round. He is very good at the Christmas tree. But here comes the hard-charging Jason Yeager at the finish line. Yeager's going to get there and get the win. 989 on the 988 dial-in. He was almost right on the dial-in, and he need every bit of it. Ropo was fantastic at the Christmas tree, but could not run the number. He was 11:43 on the 11:15 dial-in. So Jason Yeager squeaks by at the finish line, getting the win in the Olds 442 left-hand side. That'll bring up John Stolpa and Bob Kelso. 2 of the hardest launching cars in all of B.O.P. drags. Kelso on the right-hand side. The Heavy Hauler, 1982 Olds wagon. Look at that, dragging the bumper in the station wagon. The Heavy Hauler is out front. Bob Kelso, the driver. John Stolpa, the Rocket Racing Old 442 left-hand side, closing in at the finish line. Win light goes to the Heavy Hauler. The wagon. Bob gets the win. And the right-hand side, he goes 10:18 on the 10:15 dial-in. Bob Kelso moves on to the next round. And Rick Waters collecting his bye here to conclude this second round of B.O.P. competition. An absolutely gorgeous 1962 Pontiac Tempest is driven by Rick Waters of Tinley Park, Illinois. The plumber pipe fitter by trade will go a 9:47 elapsed time on the 9:45 dial-in for Rick Waters, and that will conclude round number 2 of Buick Olds Pontiac competition. So Bob Kelso will be the new potential buy in round number 3 of B.O.P Pro category. K335, Bob Kelso, the new potential buy in round number 3 of B.O.P Pro class. We're looking for Index Motorcycles. Index Motorcycles to the lanes, please, for round number 1 eliminations. Index Motorcycles to the lanes, please, for round number 1 of eliminations. Buybacks for Street ET and Drag ET Motorcycle are available at the front gate. Buybacks for Drag ET and Street ET Motorcycle are available at the front gate. Hey, a special happy birthday to Chandler Shahan. Chandler, happy 18th birthday. Your grandparents are here checking out the action with you, so happy 18th birthday to Chandler Shahan. Attention to the pits, Index Motorcycles. Index Motorcycles, round number 1 to the lanes, please. Qualifying sheets and ladders are posted. Stage lane director Brian Hampton also has copies of the ladder sheets for round number 1 of 950 and 890 Index Motorcycles. So Index Motorcycles to the lanes, please, for round number 1 of eliminations. Round one of Index Motorcycles at the line right now. Joe Robbins and Tom Luke. This is the 890 Index. Both riders looking to hit the 890 mark. Who can be the first one to the finish line without going under 8.90 seconds from starting line to finish line? That is the name of the game right here. Your number one qualifier is Tom Luke on the right-hand side. He was 890 with a 5 qualifying earlier. He faces Joe Robbins, left-hand side, who is doing double duty in 890 and 950 Index, and the win's going to go to Joe Robbins on a hole shot. Tom Luke was closer to the Index, but Joe Robbins had the better reaction time and gets the win on a hole shot. 901 on the 890 Index, getting the win over Tom Luke, who was 896 on the 890 Index. Joe Robbins, your winner, first pair out of 890 Index competition. That'll bring up next Tom Clemmy and Bruce Damewood. Clemmy on the left-hand side, your points leader for the 890 Index. Paired up with Bruce Damewood, right-hand side, your number 2 qualifier today. He was previously an 892 with a 3 in the final qualifying session for Damewood. Clemmy not far behind. He was 894 with a 2 in qualifying, so this will be a big matchup here in round number 1. Tom Clemmy versus Bruce Damewood. Wow, this one is living up to the hype. Incredible reaction times. 10 on the tree for Clemmy. Perfect on the tree for Damewood. And Tom Clemmy gets the win. He goes dead on 9, 10 on the tree, and picks off Bruce Damewood. And Damewood had a perfect reaction time. He could do no more at the starting line, but just could not run the number. He was 892.5 on the 890 Index. Tom Clemmy, left-hand side, your winner, goes dead on 9, 10 on the tree. That is a 19 thousandth of a second package for your winner, Tom Clemmy. And next up, your 950 Index Motorcycles, Andy Bailey and Brian Foster. Foster on the right-hand side of Merrillville, Illinois. So Foster from Portage, Indiana. Close race off the starting line as he faces the DeKalb-based racer Andy Bailey at the finish line. Only one can prevail. That's going to be Brian Foster on the right-hand side. 960 with a 7 on the 950 Index. Brian Foster, your winner on the right-hand side. And that'll bring up next Ted Thompson. Left-hand side. Your number 1 qualifier, collecting the bye in this category. Looking for the 950 Index. Ted Thompson, your number 1 qualifier. Out of Naperville, Illinois. Wow, Thompson has got the motorcycle dialed in today. He goes 951 with a 7 on the 950 Index. Win line to Joe Robbins. Left-hand side, it goes 995 on the 950 Index, and that is a wrap for round number 1 of Index Motorcycles. We'll take the next round of B.O.P to the lanes, please. B.O.P round number 3 to the lanes, please. Brent Vincent, potential buy for round number 3. 308V, Brent Vincent, you carry the buy in B.O.P Street Class round number 3. And Bob Kelso, K335, the new potential buy in round number 3 of B.O.P Pro Class. Great to have Stephen Durr out here with the 70 Challenger making license runs. He is done for the day today, but Stephen, thank you for joining us at Byron Dragway. Our pleasure to have you making your NHRA competition license passes with us today. Looking for round number 3 of B.O.P. to the lanes, please. Round number 3, B.O.P. eliminations to the staging lanes, please. Bob Kelso, K335, potential buy in round number 3 of B.O.P. Pro. And 308 V. Brent Vincent, potential buy in round number 3 of B.O.P. Street Class. So looking for all of our entries for round number 3 of B.O.P. to the staging lanes, please. We will also take our Drag ET and Street ET motorcycles. Drag ET, Street ET motorcycles to the lanes, please, for round number 2 of eliminations. Bruce Damewood, potential buy, bike number 312. Bruce Damewood, potential buy in the Drag ET category. And bike number 20, Gil Ojek, potential buy in round number 2 of Street ET motorcycle.
This is the semifinal round coming up. Semifinal round action coming up now. This is the B.O.P street class. All right, Bernie Cutrone in the Tower Lane in the Grand Prix. He's down to 1191 to be in the rundown mode, going against Ted Schneller in the far lane from, Ted is from Yorkville, Illinois, in a 70 Olds Cutlass. And a red light start by 4,000ths of a second. Ted Schneller will be going to his first final ever. Yeah, and shout out to the Durtons watching at Matthew's party. A shout out to them. Thanks for watching Byron Dragway Live. In the buy run here, Brent Vincent, Dow 1391. All right, Brent Vincent goes to the quarter mile, 1392 and a 1391 dial, and taking the buy run win light. We're moving on to the pro class. This is semi-final round. All right, on the line right now, number 431, the driver of that car, I think we have an entry card here, is Rick Waters in a 62 Pontiac Tempest from Tinley Park, Illinois, 57 years of age. What a gorgeous looking car that is. And in the far lane, Jason Yeager. And this is a close race. Rocket Racing on in front. Here comes the Tinley Park driver, and he is your winner. The Tempest driver moves on to the next round action. I think Yeager lifted the throttle down there a little bit premature and gave the race back to the Tempest. All right, the buy run, Bob Kelso. Kelso from Hebron, Illinois. Boy, that chassis works so well. Wheel standing wagon. Kelso, great reaction time. Trying to run as close as he can at 10:15. He gets a gift anyway, and he has a 10:17. It's a buy run. He will be in the final against the Tempest. All right, we got Drag ET, I do believe, coming back. Bruce Danewood is carrying the buy. Greg Darm and Bill Baker. Greg Darm is off against Bill Baker. 885 to an 893. Darm is leaning over, looking up, and Darm breaks out by 9 thousandths. Call it 1. He had that race wrapped up. It was his for the taking. He takes too much stripe, 6 feet, and goes out in the second round. Now it's Tom Clemmy against Bruce Danewood. Oh, and a close race here. Nearly identical reaction times. Clemmy in the Tower Lane. World champion, 876. So is Bruce Danewood, and the win goes to Danewood. Danewood is your winner. 2 under the dial. Clemmy, 3 under the dial. Danewood is the winner. All right, Ted Thompson is off. Got a slow bike today going against Brian Foster, Maryville, Indiana. Foster is in the rundown mode, and Ted Thompson is looking back. Ted Thompson lifted the throttle and gave the win right back to Foster. Ted's going to be upset. He had the reaction time. He had everything going for himself. Misjudged it and gave the race back by 18 inches at the finish line. And he had that wrapped up. Okay, Gil Eljek of Byron, Illinois. A Chrysler worker, a Chrysler supervisor, is on the line right now, down 965. He gets the free pass. Special happy birthday to Chandler Shahan, 18th birthday. Gil Eljek runs 966 and a 965. He'll be in the final.
This is the B.O.P Street Class final round, and it is Brent Vincent and Ted Schneller. Schneller making his bracket racing debut out here at Byron Dragway, and I tell you what, Ted, you may have found your calling in life. He's driving the 1970 Oldsmobile Supreme in the right-hand side from Yorkville, Illinois. And he is facing a driver who was definitely not in his first bracket race. That is Brent Vincent. Left-hand side, the local from Byron, Illinois, driving the family Pontiac Grand Prix. In the tower side, a 1392 dial-in for Vincent. 1224 dial-in for Schneller. And the street class final round for B.O.P. So Vincent has been bracket racing since his days in a junior dragster. Ran 3 races just last weekend alone. He goes 13.99 for the win on the left-hand side on the 13.92 dial-in. Brent Vincent, your street class B.O.P winner over Ted Schneller in the final round. All right, the final round for the pro class in B.O.P is coming out. After the final round in B.O.P Pro, we will take a 10-minute employee break, before we resume with test and tune. So final round of B.O.P Pro coming out, then a 10-minute employee break before test and tune. This is the final round in the B.O.P Pro category. It is Rick Waters and Bob Kelso. Waters left-hand side, the Pontiac Tempest. And the Tempest will get the win at the starting line by virtue of the red line start from Bob Kelso and the heavy hauler 82 Olds wagon on the right-hand side. Wow, the wagon was dead on one, so was the Tempest. Look at that, 947 with a 1. But a red light start for the station wagon gives the win to Rick Waters, left-hand side in the Pontiac Tempest, your pro class winner in the B.O.P Buick Olds Pontiac race. And we will do it all again tomorrow, B.O.P racers, for the Sunday edition tomorrow. So a job well done to Brent Vincent in the street category. Big congratulations to Rick Waters in the pro side. We got Ted Schneller in the tower, a first-time bracket racer. Went all the way down to the final round, Ted. I think you may have found your calling in life. Professional bracket racer, and a big job well done as well to Bob Kelso, your overall runner-up in the pro category for B.O.P. At this time, we will take a 10-minute employee break. Test and tune racers. Be at ease. We'll bring you out in just about 10 minutes' time, as we will have a mandatory employee break at this time. So 10 minutes of downtime, and we'll be back to action with test and tune.
Happy birthday, Mr. Ted Schneller. Ted got his birthday wish. He got in the final round of the Street B.O.P. Looking forward tomorrow, seeing everybody around here tomorrow for the second day of B.O.P. as well. So B.O.P. racers are running another race tomorrow. So if you got a Buick Olds, Pontiac, or a friend, bring them on out. Call them up and say, you got to come out. It's a blast. All right, we got our crew on break right now. Brent Vincent, report to the tower. Bernie Cutrone. Bernie Cutrone with the 69 Pontiac Grand Prix. Bernie, can you come to the tower? Colin or Chad Cannon, report to the tower.
Paging Mark Stiles. Paging Mark Stiles. Shooter McGavin, paging Mark Stiles to tech, please. Hey, we're looking for Rick Waters, Bob Kelso, and Jason Yeager.
Rick Waters.
You're Rick. Wow, asking you shall receive.
Awesome.
Paging Jason Yeager. Jason Yeager to the tower, please. Paging Jason Yeager to the tower, please. Track personnel to your stations, please. Track personnel to your stations, please. All right, we're getting our staff back in position. We do have some light sprinkles in the shutdown area, as reported by the ambulance. I can see it myself in the water box area, a drop here and there. So we're going to get our staff back into place, but we will be on hold for just a moment or two longer as we wait to let this little bit of a rain cloud just kind of hovering over the top of us. Not dropping much, but dropping enough that we're not going to send a car down. We're going to keep a close eye as we get a sporadic drop here and there. And what you like is when that sporadic drop here and there goes away to no drops at all, but sometimes that drop here and there turns into a shower. You definitely don't want to send a car down track into that, so we are on hold. Staff returning into their posts, but we are on hold with light drops here and there. We have Doug Hampton, the Swami of Souvenirs, up in the tower right now, and Doug's told me about all the specials and all the new looks they got down there at the souvenir stand located beside the Sunoco Race Fuel Station. Make sure you stop down, see Doug. If you're not in need of a buyback, if you're not in need of a Sunoco Race Fuel refill, well, maybe you're looking for a shirt or a hat or something to commemorate your trip to the Playground of Power. Doug will get you fixed up. They've even got some new, for the fall, long-sleeve T-shirts in, which I think on these cool mornings and cool nights at the Dragway, that might be just what the doctor ordered. So stop on down, see Doug Hampton for all of your Byron Dragway souvenir needs.
All index motorcycle racers back to the lanes. We need all index motorcycle racers back to the lanes.
Index Motorcycles, Index Motorcycles. You should be in the lanes and ready to go. Index Motorcycles should be in the staging lanes. For round number 2, we'll be sending you out here just momentarily. Index Motorcycles to the lanes, please, for your second round of eliminations. Paging Chad Cannon. Chad Cannon of the tower, please. Paging Chad Cannon or Colin Cannon, either to the tower, please, or both.
The blown 56 Chevrolet 901, 134 miles an hour. A little light on the mile an hour for the ET, but the Tower Lane 974 at 137, a big mile an hour there. So I'm going to say he stepped out of the throttle on that blown 56. All right, this is the final in the 890 index class. All right, this is the final round. All right, Joe Robbins, 890, who sponsors this class a lot, is off against Tom Clemmy. And check this out, nearly identical reaction times, and the winner at the finish line is Mr. Robbins. Takes the win, 2 over the dial. Clemmy breaks out by 5 thousandths of a second. 5 thousandths of a second breakout. Joe Robbins is your official winner here today, Saturday, in the 890 Shootout Super Comp class. Great wheeling by the street bike rider of Joe Robbins. Taking on a 5-time world champion is a tough feat. All right, this is the Brian Foster. He's going to be rolling in the final rounds. This is the semifinal round right now. On his Kawasaki, getting the Byron in the 950 index class. All right, and look at that, 950 on a 950. Foster is ready for the final. All right, we've got the drag bike and street bike ET next round. So when you guys can make it to the lanes, drag ET and street ET, make it back to the lanes. Unusual, not even predicted today, a couple pop-up sprinkles, which is out of the ordinary. Wasn't supposed to have any chance until like 10 o'clock tonight, but we'll give it, take the weatherman. But so Joe Robbins is going to be in the semifinal round of the 950 class. He'll be wheeling around. I don't know if he's swapping bikes out or not. I don't think he is. He's probably going to run the same bike that he's been running all day. Test and tune drivers, you will follow the bikes. There's a couple of time-only bikes. I'm going to go back to test and tune. That young lady leaning on the hood of the wagon, you can wake up if you want. And the souvenir stand is open. There are T-shirts. There are long-sleeve T-shirts just arrived, and they're selling out fast. There's 4 colors available left. Hats as well, and other souvenirs. The souvenir booth is open next to the Petroleum Plaza. So with rain popping up off to the west, we're trying to push this program along just a little bit so that way it can be completed. All right, Ted Thompson coming up now in the Tower Lane. Ted Thompson from Rockford, Illinois. Actually, he relocated to Naperville, Illinois. Oh, and a red light by Joe Robbins. Ted Thompson will be going to the final in the 950 class. He runs 946, and, well, Joe said, why beat on my bike? Pro Tree test run there. 8:28:166. Thomas Luke on that run. All right, Chuck Dome of Woodridge, Illinois, in an 07 Triumph Rocket. Gotta be 2,300 cc's. Wow, 1157, 116 miles an hour. Back to Test and Tune. Test and Tune is only $20 more than the price of admission. It's a bargain. So for 20 bucks more, you can run your car down the quarter mile.
Street AT Motorcycles. Street AT Motorcycle to the lanes, please. We need all AT Motorcycles to the lanes, please. AT Motorcycles to the staging lanes, please.
Gil Oljek to the staging lanes, please. Gil, street bike final. Drag bike final. Then the runoff. To the staging lanes, Gil. Beautiful day today at the Playground of Power, and dark clouds approaching from the west. Had a little sprinkle earlier. All right, here we go. We're moving on into the final round of competition in drag bike. Bill Baker, Sherrard, Illinois, down 885. Bruce Danewood down 864 in the far lane. Danewood is off. Starting line advantage for Danewood on against Baker, and Danewood is your winner. Bruce Danewood is your winner. All right, street bike final on the line right now. Brian Foster, down 947. Gil Oljek, down 965. Gil, the local Byron racer, going against the Maryville, Indiana, Brian Foster. And Gil goes red. Foster is your winner. Gil was only red by 3/1000ths of a second. Imagine that, 3/1000ths of a second. Red light is all. So Foster will be in the final.
950 Index Class Final. Looking for our 950 Index Motorcycle Class Final to the lanes, please. 950 Index Motorcycle Class Final to the lanes, please. 950 Index Motorcycle to final round to the lanes, please. Jason Yeager and John Stolpa, a pair of racers as part of the B.O.P race that took place earlier today. Again, there will be B.O.P racing tomorrow as well. A beautiful wheels up for Jason Yeager. In the W30, Olds 442, left-hand side. Stolpa closing into the finish line. Stolpa will get there. Right-hand lane, look at that, a 9:66 with the 6 elapsed time. 143 miles per hour on the right-hand side. Yeager, the better reaction time, but just could not hold him off. He goes 980 with a 5 in the left-hand lane. .1474, 91 miles per hour in the left-hand lane. This is the 950 Index Final Round. Brian Foster and Ted Thompson. Your pairing, Thompson to the right-hand side. The 2008 Kawasaki from Naperville, Illinois, a former Street ET motorcycle track champion in his own right. Left-hand side, Brian Foster of Portage, Indiana, aboard a 2004 Kawasaki ZX-10R. They're off, they're running. You can see it with your own eyes. Ted Thompson has a clear jump off of the starting line. Will he get there without breaking out? Yes, he will. Ted Thompson is your winner, right-hand side. He goes 9:58 on the 950 Index, scoring the win over Brian Foster. Foster gets their second and still breaks out. 9:45 with a 5, giving a win to Ted Thompson, right-hand side. Drag ET, Street ET, overall final round of ET Motorcycle to the lanes, please. Final round of ET Motorcycle to the lanes, please. All right, last call for test and tune. Time is running out for test and tune today. Many cars have made plenty of runs, so we are approaching the closing time. Final call for test and tune to the lanes, please. The lanes will be closing shortly. Final call for test and tune. The lanes will be closing shortly. This is the ET Motorcycle Class Final Round. Bruce Damewood and Brian Foster. Foster on the left-hand side. Portage, Indiana. He is your street bike contestant. 947 dial-in for Foster aboard the 2004 Kawasaki ZX-10R. His opponent, that is Bruce Damewood on the right-hand side, an 865 dial-in for the 83 Suzuki from Clinton, Iowa. Off and running, pair of green lights. This is too close to call from the tower. Great reaction time for the street bike, but the win will go on a double breakout to Bruce Damewood on the right-hand side. Look at that, a 007 reaction time for Brian Foster aboard the Street ET motorcycle. He got the advantage off the starting line, but by 5 thousandths of a second, that is the difference in breakouts. Bruce Damewood, the lesser of the two, your winner on the right-hand side over Brian Foster. All righty, last and final call for the lanes. Last and final call. Final call. Final call to the lanes. If you're trying to get your car together for one last pass, please stop up to the tower so we know to expect you. But a last and final call to the lanes, please. We will be shutting down soon. So last and final call to the lanes. Last and final call to the lanes. If you need a couple of minutes to cool down or make any changes, please see Brian in staging or the tower so we know to expect you.
All right, last chance blast. A little bit of precipitation moving in off to the west, and we're completing just in the nick of time. Nothing that's going to be bad or nothing like that, just light sprinkles. Young lady in the golf cart with a dog. Holding the dog. The dog's getting roughed up. Did you take that dog to the front gate and get a treat? Did you take that dog to the front gate and get a treat? There are dog treats at the front gate. We're very dog friendly. And we like kids too, as long as they behave themselves. Thank you guys for coming out today. If you got a dog, head out to the front gate and give your dog a treat. That's what they're there for. So it's worth the walk, the exercise, and spoil your pooch at the Playground of Power. All right, this might be our last car in the lanes, the Pontiac, for the B.O.P days for today. And tomorrow we got another B.O.P day, another bike day, and another test and tune day. Everything's going to duplicate today like tomorrow, and also a bunch more unique test and tunes. Thanks to Johnny's Towing. I guess those things are all over the suburb. Thank you guys for being out at Byron Dragway. They are going to be our host towing service, I understand, for the World Power Wheel Standing Championship. They're going to bring out a rollback. Maybe a couple rollbacks is what we'd probably be looking for when they come out. And Johnny's is going to be coming in a sponsor here at the track, as they're going to have signage along the track as well. So thanks to Johnny's Towing. Gorgeous looking. And not if that's painted or wraps, but it is gorgeous looking. And if I'm a tow truck driver, I want to drive something cool and nice. And that's what keeps the employees happy, is cool rides. And Johnny's got it figured out. And the two drivers, the drivers that are with Johnny's, could you guys come to the tower here real quick? I got a little something for you. Okay, this is the last run of the day. Foster wants to get another shot at this. Said, hey, why is this bike running so quick? So he's going to make one more pass, and that will be all for today.